Hey y'all, so welcome back. This is part 4 of From Trust to Trauma with Dating My Therapist. So where were we? Oh, Valentine's Day. So after Valentine's Day, y'all, we met in person a couple of days after. So it was a stormy night. When she got there, we had got cozy. We had poured up some wine and we just cuddled. We didn't really talk much. I think that we were just in the moment and shocked that this was really happening. We didn't get intimate at all. We were just enjoying each other's company. Whole time she was there, I was just thinking to myself, like, damn, my therapist is here in the 3D. And honestly, I found it so hard for me to separate the fact that she was my therapist and she was potentially someone that I could be in a relationship with. Like, I just couldn't separate the two for the life of me. And honestly, I even found that I had completely forgot about the healing that I even was needing when I came into the whole connection. I had completely been distracted. So at this time, she hadn't met my daughter yet. We felt that it was best if we just kind of, be patient with that part of it since we had just met. I think it was February the 19th, if I have my notes right. She had booked an Airbnb where we would go to discuss business so I can just plan on rebuilding. Then we end up getting out, having some drinks and stuff like that. She surprised me with the biggest bouquet I think I've ever gotten. It had 60 roses. Beautiful, y'all. So beautiful. And then she topped it off with my favorite wine, which is Roscato red wine. That weekend came and went. So on March 3rd of 2023, we made plans for me to see her house. Now, y'all remember me telling y'all she gave her fiance a 2 weeks notice now. Girl, you guessed it. Her ex-fiance had moved out. By this time, it was just her and her cousin. We're going to call her Shay. Shay was in high school. She was a nail tech, very popular in the city. She ran a nail shop on the lower part of her home. And Kay supported her through her entrepreneur journey because she had recently been living with her mom and they had been having issues. So apparently it's been working out for Kay and her cousin staying there. So when I visited her house for the first time, Kay, she's my therapist, she invited her friends over to meet me. Now, they were very welcoming. They actually knew a lot about me already. And I knew a little bit about them, so I was able to put faces to the names. So I ended up staying until the 5th, because remember, I came on March 3rd. Before I went home, look at me, can't even talk. Before I went home, we walked around the neighborhood and she was showing me like different spots and different little places or whatever. And we had came across the house next door to her, which was abandoned. Now, the house looked like one of those old Victorian homes, but it was so beautiful, y'all. Oh my gosh, I loved it. And my daughter, she's a huge fan of Victorian houses. So I knew that she would love it if she saw it. So we had ended up going in, taking a tour and everything. And I was like, yeah, my daughter would like be all over this house. So she was just like, you should bring her so she can see it. So I had went to my mom's house to get my daughter because she was there. My daughter is a teenager, by the way. At this time, she was like 13. So I was telling my daughter about the whole experience. I was talking about Kay and everything and how her cousin Shay had a nail shop in the house. So my daughter was like, oh, that's lit. She hype. Like, oh, I want to see it. All that shit was hype about it. So my daughter was already familiar with Kay because we would be on FaceTime, although she had never seen her, right? Kay had also saw my daughter on FaceTime. Most of the time that she saw her, she was dancing. My daughter is a huge NBA YoungBoy fan. When I tell y'all, like from the poster to the blankets with his face on it, she is crazy about this rapper. Kay knew that. She knew that Zaya loved his music because she was always dancing and blasting it whenever we would be on FaceTime. So they both were equally excited to meet one another in person. So we end up getting to the house. We were pulling up, actually. It was like nighttime. And so my daughter was like, where's Kay's house? And I was like, oh, it's coming up. It's right here. And she was like, that's the house? She was like, oh my God. Mama, you ain't tell me she live in the mansion. At this point, I'm just giggling. I wouldn't say it was a mansion, but it was a very large home. And my daughter and I, we had never experienced a large home like that. So for her, it was big as hell. So Kay was like, y'all can go ahead and come in. The door is open or whatever. So we end up going in the house. And as we're walking in, my daughter was like, wait a minute. So she walked around the corner and she heard Young Boy. So she followed the sound. So it got louder as we got closer to the room where Young Boy was playing. So it was nobody in the room, but Young Boy was on the TV. So, and it was playing loud, and my daughter just broke out dancing. She like, hey, she hyped. She in the room, and she, my daughter loves black. Okay, her favorite color is black. The entire room is black. The comforter black, the furniture black. It's perfect. So Kay ended up sending me a message and was like, hey, it sounds like y'all are enjoying the house. She was like, I'm not even gonna lie, like I'm super nervous to meet your daughter. Like I don't really know how to just walk in. And I'm like, you're good, come on. So she walking into the room with a face cover, and I'm just like, oh my God. So my daughter's like, you nervous? It's like, it's okay, you don't have to be nervous. And it was so cute. So it broke Kay out of her shell, and she went on and introduced herself or whatever. So she ended up telling my daughter how we met, like the real story. Now, mind you, my daughter is the only person outside of my best friend Jasmine that knows the story. So yeah. So my daughter's very mature. So she's like, well, okay, so you met my mom as a client, how do we not know that, you're not gonna do the same thing again and meet someone else, and she was just like, oh, no, that would never happen. I don't even talk to my clients or anything like that. It was just something so special about your mom that drew me to her. My daughter, she's still in love with the house after all of that, and she's like, oh my God, Mom, like we deserve a house like this. We need to move here. Let's move here. I can go ahead and start looking at schools and stuff. And I'm like, whoa, shawty, hold on. I mean, the house nice and all, you know what I'm saying? But let's not get it twisted. Like, we don't know this lady. After our trip, we went home. And Kay had said that how much she enjoyed meeting my daughter, how it turned out better than she thought. And she thought it was a good idea if we all was to hang out. So we decided on making plans to go to a buffet where we can just kind of sit down, talk, just really bond so she can get to know Desire a bit more. So the conversation about us moving there came up. So I wasn't really into it. I immediately shut it down. Like, I just felt a feeling in my stomach, and I was just like, nah. Like, it's way too soon to be talking about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they both were all with it. She convinced I convincing her. It was just like 2 against 1, and I was like, look, I don't want to keep talking about this. The answer is no. So they end up dropping it or whatever, and we was able to finish, at the buffet. Now, something happened that made me start to question everything. But it was one of those moments where you just know things are about to change, but you just don't know if it's for the better or for the worse. I'll catch y'all up in part 5.